Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ahmadillo and today we are with Ahmadillo Mamirov. Ahmadillo got a full ride scholarship in Northwestern University in Qatar, and Ahmadillo is also an upcoming intern in EA Sports. Welcome, Ahmadillo.
Thank you, Said Amr. It's my pleasure to be here and to talk to you. Thank you.
So, Ahmadillo, can you tell a bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Ahmadillo. I'm a second year computer science student at the College of Wooster. I'm from Uzbekistan. And yeah.
All right. So, Ahmadillo, how many universities did you apply to?
Um,
At least, can you say the range?
yeah, sure. If I remember correctly, uh, I took a gap year, and my first year of applying, I applied to almost all the universities that you could apply using Common App, and there were some other applications like Coalition. So let's say 30, somewhere around 30, my first year of applying.
All right.
Then COVID hit, and then I applied again in the second year, was around 20.
How many universities did you get accepted to?
I think I was accepted to around 12 to 13.
Can you tell us a bit about the visa process? What did the visa officer ask? What kind of questions did the visa officer ask you?
So I think the overall, I'm not an expert in this application process, but my intention was to study in America, and I was accepted to Northwestern University, as you have mentioned earlier. I also was accepted to College of Wooster with a full tuition, closer to full tuition scholarship. And I came to the visa officer and let them know that my intentions of going to the States is to study and to study computer science. And yeah.
That's good, brother. So, how did you first hear about Northwestern University in Qatar or the College of Wooster? What was your searching process? I mean, some students want to get into the university that is in the middle of the city. It's in the center. But some students want it to be small, liberal arts college like Wooster. So, what were your preferences?
Sure, I think it's a really good question. The thought process of choosing this college over the other or going to one university over the other. I was awarded a full ride scholarship at Northwestern University in Qatar. It's a branch of Northwestern University in Education City, Doha. Um, and I was really interested in journalism and communication studies, and I was accepted for that major. However, um, my passion for computer science sort of outweighed my love for communication and journalism, and I was strongly interested in pursuing my education in a computer science field. As someone who went through this journey of applying and choosing the university, the first thing was to talk to my parents and my own brother. I think uh, in some cases we are very focused and we think we know everything, but help from the family would always help. So my recommendation would be to consult with their parents because studying in a university comes with a cost. If the person hasn't wasn't awarded a full ride scholarship, even still, there are some costs attached to it, or some your parents, your family knows you the best, so they will tell you if they see you succeed in those places or not. So first start internally, and then expand. Reach out to your mentors, coaches, whoever the people who helped you to get those offers. Yeah.
So, Ahmadillo, why did you choose computer science major? Not what made you think that computer science is the best fit for you?
The way I came to computer science, I never thought I would become a computer science student. Like, I know there are guys out there just like me who think they're not gonna study math. Same way I thought I would never. I would. I think. I never thought that I would even learn English.
Right.
But here I am talking to you in English,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a musician myself. I play violin and piano for almost 13 years now. So I wanted to pursue this career of a musician full time after graduating high school. But my cousin applied to for a computer science major, and I would have conversations with him about music and computer science because he used to be a musician too.
Oh,
So he inspired me in a way to explore this field. And I never thought I would learn math, but I think the fact that my parents wanted me to be a musician and help me with all the resources was such a valuable experience because what I found that there's a pattern if you are good at like playing musical instruments or playing sports, certain areas of your brain are already adept at learning new things and new skills. So it comes easier to learn other things. So I picked up English in 6 months from starting, and I got in 6 months I got six. IELTS score 6.
Okay.
My goal was to get 7, but beginner level to IELTS 6 band score took me 6 months, and I'm very grateful for my coach, for my teacher. But then in 9 months I got 7, and it was when I was 15 years old.
Wow. So you said you learned English in 6 months.
Yes.
Did you go to any like educational centers or you just learned it by yourself?
No, definitely. I lived in Uzbekistan then, so I did what everybody would do: go to an education teacher, find a mentor. I went to different places, but Jasur Ikramov, my teacher, he actually motivated me, and he actually believed in me that I had this goal and the goal was you ask yourself, okay, how Ahmadillo like saw it, like even like how I was motivated to do that. It was because of my family. My brother really inspired me to get a good band score, and that led me to go and look out for places. And it's a very neat thing to look at. Like I always recall it. And but short answer to your question, I went to an education center and I learned English there.
Thank you. So I think a full ride scholarship in Northwestern University in Qatar is a very impressive achievement. So what would you say is the most important part of your application? Is it the essay or is it your achievements, honors?
I think your overall application from extracurriculars to your standardized test scores and the overall picture you build for the admissions officer, I think that what really stands out because from my understanding, they look at whether you fit to their school culture, and by fit, it's not only the standardized test scores, but the essays and all the other factors that are out there. I'm not sure which one weights the most because the things are changing fast. So please always be with the flow and know what is up to date and whatnot. Yeah.
How has your experience at Wooster has been so far?
Wooster is a special place. I always cherish the times I have had here. To be more specific, I love our professors and the overall environment we have out here. The College of Wooster provided me with all the resources that I need in order to whether pursue my passion or be involved with my overall interests. So we have everything I like here, and I think it's a very good place to study and focus and concentrate and achieve your dreams. And we have a good community here. We're like a small family. Like everybody knows each other, and we all push each other to learn from each other and go and build and do great things.
I know that you were also working in your freshman year. You were also working and like searching for internships and studying at the same time.
Yeah.
So, what was the balance? I mean, would you recommend for freshman students to work, or should they like only focus on their studies?
Um, that's a good question. I think my freshman year, I worked first in our dining hall.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first place I worked in the States.
Mhm.
I think I only lasted for a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
But then I worked at career planning. And I think joining career planning was such a key step for my later goals, like if you work in career planning, you get introduced to LinkedIn because that's what they use. The alumni, you get connected with alumni. So this way I was able to, um, and you see a lot of students coming in and you make friends and somebody will bring up something later, which happened in my case, and it will take you to the places that you don't even know. But um, to answer your question, my opinion on that is uh, I think being busy is better than not being busy. This way you manage your time well, you prioritize your things well. So if your health allows, I recommend working and studying. This way you manage your time and try to balance your study at the best time. You don't play video games all night because you have to wake up and go to the class and work at this time. So it kind of really puts you into this mode of this ethic, I would say. Yeah. But working was at a career planning introduced me to a lot of people and helped me a lot too. And I hope it will help me in the future too. Yeah.
Ahmadillo, you got your internship in the summer of your freshman year.
Yeah.
So, did you know anything about computer science and programming before coming to the States?
Before coming to my freshman year, I was thinking to major in economics because I tried, but I was never able to sit down for 2-3 hours, look at my screen, and output or debug an error. So I saw programming is not for me. So that means like I knew a little bit, but I hated it. So I came to college. I took an intro class to economics and intro class to computer science. So from there, it all started. But when I was coming to Wooster, I saw one of our alums got accepted at Microsoft as software engineer. That was a push for me. Like, oh, actually, this is something possible, something feasible. And then later, I got to know about Buzz, who works at Apple right now, and he's my coach up to this day, and he supports me. Yeah.
So, how did you apply to the internships? How did you find your first internship is Atomrain, right?
Yes. Yeah.
As a front-end developer position. So, how did you get that internship? How did you hear about that Atomrain?
So, my freshman year, the goal wasn't to get into Atomrain. The goal was to get into top 4 or 5 companies that are out there. So I wanted to work for the like top label company, like MAANG companies, for example, that pay like a lot to interns. And I was very inspired, and I remember my first week of school, I came to the professor and I said, "Professor, what do I need to do to get an offer at MAANG right after my freshman year?" And he said, "I don't think this is something feasible after your freshman year. That may be closer to junior year that you can do something like that." Then I came out, I was like a little bit,
Discouraged.
Not discouraged, but like, it felt weird to me. Like, I said it's possible. So my freshman year, I kept applying. I think the first thing I kind of did, I did not know anything, like anything. I didn't not. Do you know where to apply to internships, right? But I did not. So I'm like, since I don't know, I have to ask people who do know, right? So I started reaching out to people from Uzbek diaspora in the States, and asking how do I apply, what things do I need to do in order to get to where they are. First step, if you do not know anything about the thing that you want to do or accomplish, find people who have already accomplished that and approach them genuinely by asking questions on how they did that. And most of the time, those people are excited to help you. And that what happened in my case. I messaged through LinkedIn to the people who work at those companies and who were Uzbek, and they shared with me the resources they've used, and I learned everything like about this. I learned like how those things works, but I might not know like what are specific things, but I kind of have an idea of what things I need to do in order to get where they are. So I started applying. My goal is to work at big tech company corporation. I applied to close to 900 places.
Your freshman year.
My freshman year, I think 900. Yeah, 900.
Front-end development position?
No, it was software engineer. Like,
okay.
I was mass applying everywhere. Was working on my resume, taking courses from other like online institutions like GoPass, and trying to be active everywhere. For career planning, I was reaching out to alum from our school who work at those places, and I started doing data structures and algorithms for right after I started my freshman year.
Okay.
So I was learning about them. However, over 800 applications sent, zero offer.
From 900 positions.
Yeah.
So, Ahmadillo, do you have any tips for people who are going to take IELTS or they want to improve their English?
Yeah. As someone who has taken this exam, I can share my journey, and they can pick up the parts they like. So, IELTS is in 4 sections, if I remember correctly. So, I worked for each section separately: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. I focused mostly on reading and listening because those were the sections I could get the most the highest score in the lowest time frame. So I focused on those parts, and in both parts I got 9 and 9 out of 9. And how I got it. For listening, there used to be different kind of podcasts. Like I would take any formal podcast, such as BBC podcasts or Curiosity podcasts, and I would write down the script of the podcast word by word. So if I miss a word, I would come back and try listening to it again and again. So it was a British speakers, since the exam will be in British English, if I'm assuming correctly. And that would familiarize me with the language very well. So I would script like 5 to 7 minutes of podcast a day. So it's gonna be like a lot of paper, but I think for listening, that was the secret sauce. I thank my teacher for that. Like I would listen to a podcast and I would script it word by word, like same way we were talking with each other, and I would write each word of the speakers. And I did a lot of those, like over 100 easy, I think. Over 100 podcasts. But if I could do more, that means I can do more in the shortest period of time. But for those of you who are starting just now, so I started doing it in elementary while my English was in elementary level, and I started with easier podcasts. First time I wrote a podcast, like a 5 minute long podcast, the script of it took me 1 week.
1 week. Wow.
And I think later, as I became more proficient in that, I would write a 6 minute podcast in like 25 to 30 minutes.
That's impressive.
So at first it was 1 hour, 1 week, now and then it got reduced to something 25 to 30 minutes.
So, did you take SAT? I mean, most of the universities in US at that time were like requiring SAT for students to take SAT.
Yeah, and this I think would also answer the question about the IELTS portions that I was talking, the reading portion. So I took my last IELTS exam without even preparing for it. Like I didn't do a single practice test, but I was preparing for the SAT. And I think there's a common saying that SAT readings are a little bit harder compared to the IELTS reading. So I didn't do a single IELTS reading practice, but I was focusing on learning new vocabulary.
Okay.
So if you look into the structure of the language, the two most important things, in my opinion, are grammar and vocabulary, right? For as a language learner to me. So if I know how the sentences are structured grammatically, and if I know the words, I can make meaning out of them. So this was my approach for reading. But I used to read books in English, especially the science fiction books that are kind of harder than the SAT readings or somewhere at the same level for a language learner. So I used to go for harder stuff so that it would make it easier to take the tests. I read different kind of genres from science fiction to I don't know to all the like I would pick a book for a week and finish it. Take the vocabulary that not all the vocabulary, but the ones that come up quite often and learn them. So my emphasis for reading was knowing the vocabulary and understanding your grammar, the sentence structure, and things like that. But I have attended different education institutions, education centers, in order to learn the techniques. So knowing the English or knowing that language itself is not enough, in my opinion, to achieve the highest score on those exams. You also need to know the technique. So the people who have done that know the techniques. So once you have the language part and you have the technique, then I think it makes a good combination as a test taker.
What score did you get for your SAT?
I think I got 1320 or 1330, somewhere around that range.
Okay, that's good. So next, let's move to your sophomore year.
Okay.
This year, you applied to how many internships?
So the thing is, that number that I'm gonna say right now might be might sound quite like I wouldn't say like out of nowhere, but I wanted to focus on the transition before I say like, oh, this is the process. So I was willing to work even unpaid for my passion because I was so in love. I'm so in love with computer science that I need the experience. That's what I need the most. So from the time working at Atomrain, in a short period of time, I learned a lot, and it was definitely worth it. And my approach was the same. And when I was applying for my sophomore year, I saw I've applied to this many 900 internships my freshman year, and I already have an internship on my belt. It's going to be easier, right? But in reality, I learned the higher you go up in the ladder, the harder it gets because the bigger and more meaningful goals you're chasing, there's more competition. So to answer your question, I've applied to 1,700 to 1,800 applications my sophomore year.
Okay.
I kept applying and applying. These are the numbers that I was keeping track of, but I'm pretty sure there were other applications sent out that I didn't track, or so it was double to what I've applied my freshman year.
All right.
The goal was the same, to secure an internship at a big tech company. Yep.
What's important in applying to those internships? I mean, is it the resume that's important, or the preparation for the interview?
I would think of it things that I can do, things I cannot do. So the things that I cannot do is the business needs. I don't know what kind of a software developer the hiring team needs, but things I know, the things, or I might not know, the things that I need to work on myself in order to get an internship. So I focused on myself, what skills I can improve, or what things are favored by hiring managers, right? So I focused inward on myself. So as someone who has just started computer science journey, I can share the thoughts of how I did it, but I'm not sure if it applies to everyone. And the things that worked to me might not work to other people. But from my journey, I can say your previous experience, right? But in order to get an experience, like in order to, like, I have worked previously at Atomrain. So interestingly, I worked in commerce, billing, identity, components of one of their projects. So this summer, I'll be joining EA Electronic Arts in the similar department. So my previous experience kind of prepared me for the upcoming opportunity, right? So, and to add on to that, in order to get an Atomrain experience, first thing I did was to network. I directly reached out to the CEO of the company, and I said, "Hello, my name is Ahmadillo. I'm a computer science student. I know people who worked for you from our college, and I'll be willing to work for you." And then I also added that I'm willing to work for free. And I think he was very impressed because, and then he reached out to me saying, "Oh, can you reach us back in 2 months?" And in 2 months passed, I did not get an internship, so I reached back again. And we decided to meet, and that's how I got my Atomrain experience. But in order to get that experience, I had to have something that showcases my ability or showcases something about me. So I took different online courses. I built projects, following tutorials, and adding on top of myself. And also taking courses online from CodePass. So I was sort of trying to focus on the things I can do more than the things that I can't do and I cannot control. So it's like, it's like it works like Mark Belnian. He refers to this as combined opportunities, just like combined interests. So if say there's a computer science club on your campus, we do have one on campus. So you join the club and somebody talks about something, and you take that and you research that and you become part of that, say, online education institution. From there, you meet someone who will refer you later. So you see one opportunity leads to the other, and while it doesn't get easier, but you start understanding the paths and the links between different things. So I would think of it this way. So you if you don't have the opportunity, you try to create an opportunity by working on yourself, and that opportunity will be a stepping stone for something in the future.
So from those 1,900 internships, how many replied back?
Somewhere around 20 uh, reached out. I got like an automatic invite for assessment. I think only three. I only talked to three recruiters. And I decided to go with EA Electronic Arts.
So how did you prepare for your EA interview? Did you do any like lead code problems or what did you focus on?
Yeah, for the goal, like I did not start preparing for my EA interview like when I got it, but I was preparing it for 1 year already. Like the things that I was doing were are general things like learning data structures and algorithms, like fundamentals of things that I'll need in an interview, right? So I was focusing on the fundamentals, like data structures and algorithms. Started with watching YouTube videos. Started with easily got questions, then medium, and I was somewhere and learning the patterns, the common patterns, and solving those questions. Then building projects and learning as much as I can. Like, to be honest, the goal, yes, was to work in a big tech company, but I'm genuinely passionate about what I'm learning and what I'm building. Because I was a violinist and I sort of switched to computer science. So I think I could have been a good musician too, but so whenever I look at it, like I love doing those things, learning about those things. So for my interview, I did not study the months when I was taking those interviews. I have taken other interviews, talked to recruiters, and also met the teams, other teams, as an interview panel. But that month, I did not do anything. I was just taking a rest and letting everything come back together. And it worked for me. So I studied 1 year before the fundamentals, rested the months of the interviews, and this was the way.
So what would you recommend for students who also want to get into like top tech companies like EA Sports or for example like MAANG, like Facebook, Amazon? What would you recommend them to do? I mean, problem solving, lead coding, resume, or what?
What I learned is doing the right things at the right time. By the right things, I mean things with the right priority. Things when those things should be done. So first of all, get the fundamentals down. Like understand those basic data structures and algorithms. Like don't go too far and don't rush your way, but start with basics, get them down very well, and then slowly make your way up. And try to understand the cores of how those things are working behind the hood. And I think in order to come to this, first we have to network. We have to learn how to network professionally, have to reach out to people professionally and ask for advice. I thought this was something that really helped me. And reach out to a lot of people that you want to be like. Because those people know the way because they have went through that same path. But do not reach out to the people who couldn't do that or who were not able to accomplish it because they have not accomplished yet. But they might unintentionally just end up discouraging you from your dreams, right? So people who have done that say, "Oh, go for it. But people who have not done it might unintentionally discourage you from chasing those things. And first thing, love what you do, and slowly learn. Like make your way up.
Mm-hmm. So for 1,900 internship that you applied, did you apply through LinkedIn or did you also use any other platforms?
I used mostly LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some GitHub repositories that contain internship links,
Mm-hmm.
such as Simplify. I used that. I also applied through Glassdoor.
Mm-hmm.
So every day I would go to the Glassdoor's website before going to the class.
Mm-hmm.
There would be around 20 to 30 new opportunities open. So I would apply to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take around 20 to 20 minutes or 30 max. And I go to the class. So every day I would knock out 10 to 20 applications while actively job searching. And then I'd go to the class. But get your resume reviewed by professionals and learn from the professionals, from the experts.
Well, Ahmadillo, I think that's it. You answered to all of my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.